For 13 years, I poured my heart and soul into my father-in-law's business. I took it from the brink of failure and transformed it into a multi-million-dollar empire. Last night, over a casual family dinner, he looked me in the eye and told me they were bringing in someone else to take my place. My own wife, his daughter, just sat there and smiled. It all started when I married Sarah. Her father, John, owned a small, struggling construction firm. He was a good man, but a terrible businessman. The company was drowning in debt. He begged me to help, promising me that one day, it would all be mine. I was young, ambitious, and in love, so I agreed. I quit my promising job and dedicated myself completely to his company. I worked 18-hour days, 7 days a week. I redesigned their entire business model, modernized their technology, and personally cultivated relationships with every client and investor. I brought in contracts they could only have dreamed of. Slowly but surely we grew. My nights were spent poring over blueprints and financial reports. My weekends were spent on site, managing projects and ensuring everything was perfect. I sacrificed everything: my hobbies, my friends, and precious time with my own family. Sarah would often complain that I was never home. But I always reminded her that I was building our future, securing our legacy. Over the years, the company didn't just recover. It thrived. We became a major player in the industry with a reputation for quality and innovation that I had personally built from the ground up. Our revenues soared into the tens of millions. John went from being stressed and on the verge of bankruptcy to a respected industry leader, living a life of luxury. He loved to take credit for the company's miraculous turnaround at golf clubs and fancy galas, while I remained in the background, the silent engine driving it all. I never minded. I thought we were family. I believed his promise. Then came last night's dinner. It was supposed to be a celebration of our most profitable quarter yet. John raised his glass, and I expected a toast to our success, maybe even a word of thanks for my years of dedication. Instead, he announced, "We've decided to bring in a new CEO to take the company to the next level." My nephew Robert just graduated with his MBA. I looked at Robert, my wife's cousin, a kid who had never worked a day in his life, smirking at me from across the table. I turned to Sarah, my wife of 15 years, and she just gave me a small, tight-lipped smile and said, "It's for the best, honey. It's time for you to take a break." A break? I felt a cold wave wash over me. The clinking of their glasses sounded like thunder in my ears. 13 years of my life, my sweat, my sleepless nights, all dismissed in a single sentence. I was being replaced by a kid with a fancy degree and zero experience. I thought I would explode with rage. I thought I would scream. But instead, a strange calmness settled over me. I looked at their smiling, self-satisfied faces and realized they didn't see me as family. To them, I was just a tool they had used up and were now ready to discard. I excused myself from the table, claiming I felt unwell. The look of relief on their faces was the final confirmation I needed. My heart was broken, but my mind was clearer than ever. They had made a fatal mistake. They assumed I was just an employee. They forgot that I wasn't just running the company. I was the company. Now they about to learn that taking away my position doesn't mean they get to keep the empire I built. If you enjoy emotional and dramatic revenge stories, please subscribe for more. That night I didn't sleep. I went to my home office and began to prepare. For years, I had meticulously documented everything. Every contract I negotiated, every client relationship I built, every innovative process I designed. I was smart enough to know that in business, you always protect your assets. And my greatest asset was my own intellectual property. All the proprietary methods, the client lists, the investor contacts, they were all legally tied to me, not the company. John had been too complacent to care about the legal details, and I had been diligent. I spent the entire night organizing the documents, making copies, and preparing my official resignation. It was the most important work of my life. The next morning, I walked into the office an hour earlier than usual. The building, a gleaming tower that symbolized our success, felt different. It felt like a monument to my own foolishness. I ignored the cheerful greetings from employees I had personally hired and mentored. I went straight to the HR department and handed in my letter of resignation, effective immediately. Then I went to John's office. He was already there on the phone, probably boasting to someone about his brilliant nephew. I placed a thick binder on his desk. "What's this?" he asked, annoyed at the interruption. "That," I said calmly, "is a detailed record of all the intellectual property, client contracts, and investor agreements that are legally mine. They leave with me. You'll also find my resignation in there. I wish your nephew the best of luck." The color drained from his face. He started stammering, but I didn't wait to hear it. I turned and walked out, not looking back. As I left the building, my phone started ringing. It was our biggest client, a billion-dollar development firm. I had a scheduled call with their CEO that morning. I answered. "Tom," he said, "I heard a strange rumor you're leaving. Tell me it isn't true." I confirmed it was. "Well," he said without hesitation, "then we're pulling our contracts. You're the only reason we do business with that company. Where are you going next?" "We'll follow." And just like that, the first domino fell. Throughout the day, my phone didn't stop ringing. One by one, every major client I had brought in called to cancel their multi-million-dollar contracts. The investors I had courted for years began pulling their funding. The news spread like wildfire through the industry. By noon, the company's stock had plummeted. The empire I had spent 13 years building was crumbling in a matter of hours. Later that day, I received a call from the CEO of our biggest competitor. He didn't waste time. "I heard you're a free agent," he said. "I'll double whatever John was paying you and give you a significant ownership stake. Just come and do for us what you did for them." Similar offers flooded in from every major firm in the country. My wife, Sarah, has been calling and texting me nonstop, alternating between begging and threatening. John left me a voicemail, his voice cracking, pleading for me to come back, saying it was all a terrible misunderstanding. But there's no misunderstanding. They showed me my true worth in their eyes. And now the entire industry is showing me my actual worth. I'm not just taking a break. I'm starting a new chapter, one where my work and dedication will be valued. They wanted to replace me? They can keep the empty shell of the company I left behind. I built it once and I will build it again, but this time, it will be for myself. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more Reddit-style revenge stories.